So starting from today, which is Monday, I'm gonna be filming a week of nourishing dinners for you. I know a lot of you love the week of nourishing breakfast ideas that I've shared, so I gathered I would do a dinner edition. For more meal ideas, you can check out all of my recipe ebooks, which are available over on my website. Do any of these ideas make you feel motivated to go and cook up a nourishing, tasty meal in your kitchen? I love the feedback, so yeah, show some love, drop me a comment. I'm excited for tonight's meal. Let's go and cook it up. Let's go. We are going to cook some salmon with roasted carrots. I'm gonna cook up some rice with chickpeas. I'm gonna do this like tahini and honey drizzle using this really delicious chili tahini, which I have. You might just want to take one element from this meal, so you might just want to cook up the salmon, or you might want to cook the rice and pair it with another source of protein that you have. I'm really loving this one at the moment. One more thing, I'll also be cooking some tender stem as well. I'll either roast that or I'll steam it, but we'll see. I'm gonna get these carrots in the oven because they'll probably take the longest. They don't actually take long, but they'll take the longest. They'll take like 20 minutes, 25 minutes or so. I always do more carrots than I think I'm gonna need because roasted carrots for me, oh my god, anything roasted is just delicious, right? I can just get through a whole baking tray of these. So yeah, you can give your carrots a peel if you want. It's absolutely fine to not peel. I start off with more energy at the beginning of the week, and then I'm not gonna lie, by Friday I usually am like, I want to order a Deliveroo, I want to order an Uber Eats. If you've got the energy, if you've got the space to cook up a meal, I mean, home cooking just wins every time. So yeah, go ahead and chop all of your carrots up, grab a baking sheet. You can line the baking sheet with some parchment paper if you want to. Season with some salt. I crushed up some cumin seeds and I just put some of those over. You could definitely use cumin powder, a little bit of black pepper, a swirl of olive oil, and you can place your carrots into a 200 degrees Celsius oven, leaving them in there for around 20 to 25 minutes. Just keep an eye on them. So next step was to cook up this chickpea rice. We're also going to be adding in some coconut milk and some butter. So I placed my rice into the saucepan, just giving it a thorough wash, washing it until the water ran clear. I grabbed and opened my tin of chickpeas, just giving them a good wash and rinse. Placed them into the saucepan along with the rice, gave it some generous salt, a little bit of butter. For the rice, I'll do half water, half coconut milk. You can see my little water setup behind me. When I'm cooking in my kitchen, I do prefer to use some type of filtered water. Big thank you to Waterdrop, who are the sponsors of today's video. Waterdrop are my favorite water filter company. They provide a range of different water filters to ensure that we are drinking safer, cleaner water in our homes. Most of us by now are aware of the reality of a lot of tap water. That is why it is a non-negotiable in my kitchen to have a Waterdrop filter. Even when I'm cooking things like rice or boiling vegetables or steaming vegetables, yeah, I need my filtered water. The Mega Electric water filter is meticulously designed to address chloramine concerns, making it ideal for those relying on chloramine disinfected water supplies. This is such a convenient, lightweight filter that reduces 30 substances that can be found in regular tap water, including things like microplastics, chlorine, lead. A key point that I know you are going to love about this water filter is that it is multifunctional, meaning it can be used in the kitchen as I'm using it. It could be used in the living room, in the bedroom. It's even great for camping or in an RV. The setup is ridiculously easy. It is as simple as 1, 2, 3. And when I say that, I mean that. You might be wondering about the water capacity and the lifespan of the filter. So this particular water filter, the Mega Electric water filter, has a capacity of 27 cups. If you think about it, that's a lot of water for something so compact, so lightweight. It has a lifespan of 3 months, which is equivalent to 200 gallons of water. When you add up how much you actually spend on water, this by far comes out on top of being most cost effective. I spend quite a lot of time in my kitchen. This is so convenient, just from how it just slots in so perfectly. Super easy for me to fill up, and it's super lightweight. Look, it's almost full right now, and I can just lift it up with ease. You want to save time, you want to save money, this is the water filter for you. I actually wish I would have had this model sooner. I love it. Highly recommend you click the link in my description. That will take you to the page where you'll be able to find out more information about the water filter and also purchase it if you want to. I grab some water from my filter. This rice needs to get to cooking. These carrots are in the oven, and I need to do the salmon too. So grabbing my water from my Waterdrop filter, I placed in the water along with some coconut milk. I've got some wild salmon. I know not everyone actually likes the taste, or more so the texture, of wild salmon. It's not so fatty, it's not like farmed salmon. I love using both. Just today I happened to have some wild salmon because I went to the supermarket yesterday and this is what I picked up. I'm gonna make a little marinade and just pour it over.
So I combined some olive oil, I had a touch of honey, and I placed in some oregano, some garlic powder, this dukkah blend that I had just because I like just mixing random things together, a little splash of tamari, some lime juice. So grabbing my piece of salmon and placing it on a flat-lined baking sheet, I just gave it some good salt and placed over all of that marinade.
So yeah, we'll just throw all of that on top. Say like 15-20 minutes into cooking the carrots, you can place in your salmon. That's if you're using wild salmon, just because it cooks really quick. The worst thing is dry wild salmon. You don't want to dry it out. If you're using any other type of salmon, just put it in at the same time whilst you're cooking the carrots. You can just cook them together. Midway through cooking, like I'll have a little bowl of whatever's cooked. I'm about to have my second little bowl of this rice. It tastes really, really good. Everything's basically done. I'm just going to put together a quick little tahini dressing. Not dressing, sorry, like a sauce, just to drizzle over everything. I got this tahini right here. I got it ages ago. I think I found this in Whole Foods. It's a regular tahini, but it's got hot red chili, sweet paprika and spice, so I guess it's just a little bit seasoned. I'm gonna add some regular tahini. I've only probably got like a drop of that left, and I've got a drop of this honey left, that honey that I think I've showed you this before. It's the local honey man. Love this honey. Add a little bit of lime in there, and a little bit of salt, pepper, and yeah, and everything's done except for the tender stem, which will take like 2 minutes in my steaming trays. Add chickpeas to your rice and add butter and a little coconut milk. Just add what I added. Try it out.
So I combined the chili tahini, the regular tahini, some honey, some lemon juice, some salt, a little touch of garlic, and a little touch of water. So final bits were just to put my tender stem to steam, remove the carrots from the oven, just give them a good shake around. Look how golden and delicious these look. Remove my juicy salmon from the oven and just serve everything up, swirling over all of that chili, tahini and honey sauce. Definitely a Monday meal for me when I have the motivation and the enthusiasm to cook up something colorful, vibrant food that is going to make me feel good from the inside out.
This is my dream plate of food right here. 4 more days to go. I'll see you tomorrow evening for Tuesday's dinner. Tonight, everything's cooked for me. I'm doing a leftover night. I've got some dal that I cooked up on Sunday, like a big pot of dal. Sometimes I will just pressure cook a whole pot of butter beans or chickpeas. I like to have something ready in my fridge. And on Sunday, I was just feeling like a dal. It was so delicious. I know it is going to be even tastier today because it would have been left, you know, just to sit for a couple days. Also got that rice that I cooked up yesterday, so I'm going to make some egg fried rice with that. Yeah, I'm gonna put this together. Very simple. I'm just gonna grab my pans and warm this up. I don't have a microwave, by the way. Not that I'm against anyone using microwave, like do your thing. I just have never had one here, so yeah, everything's gonna be warmed up on the stove. So my rice and my dal. I'll do my egg fried rice in this. Put that out. If I've got some spring onions, I'm definitely going to throw some of those in.
So I started off by finally chopping up those spring onions. I grabbed my pan, heated a little olive oil in the pan, and then threw those spring onions in. I also placed in a little bit of minced garlic and then threw in that leftover rice, just mixing everything for a few minutes.
The combination of eggs and dal, like if you've never tried it, for me it's unmatched. It really doesn't get any better.
So moving that chickpea rice over in the pan to make way to cook my eggs. Yeah, I just simply placed in my whisked eggs, just scrambled them and combined them with the rice. I finished with a little bit of ground pepper and I heated up my dal. This is my kind of balanced food right here. It's comforting, it's nourishing, it's delicious. This dal is honestly just something else. And whenever dal and eggs are paired together, I am one happy woman, I'll tell you that.
Already a lot of coriander in that dal, but I'm gonna just chop a little more up. We've got that egg fried chickpea rice and that dal, which is so good. This looks like such a basic bowl of food, but the enjoyment that is happening within me right now, I can't even explain it. I just remembered I have some purple sweet potatoes, which are probably my favorite type of sweet potato. Can't always get hold of them, but when I do, I buy like 6 at a time. Plan is to put this sweet potato to cook in the oven, and then once this is cooked, I'm just gonna quickly cook some steak. Nice and simple. You'll get questions about meat, like, Tish, when did you start eating meat again? It's been years, so if you haven't caught up with where I'm at in terms of just like my style approach to food, I do eat red meat. I don't eat it often just because I don't feel like it often, but when I feel like it, I know when I need it, I know when I'm in the mood, and today is one of those days. Whenever I'm eating any type of meat, I need to serve it with greens, and I need lots and lots of fresh herbs with it as well. I'm gonna whip up a little chimichurri. So yeah, simple, sweet potato, steak, chimichurri, and I'll see what greens, random greens I have in my fridge as well. So I'm gonna start off by, yeah, roasting this up. I love to use both parchment paper and foil when I cook any type of sweet potato. I think it just makes it super soft. I know some people just wrap it straight in foil, but there is something with adding parchment paper. It does make a difference, I find. Some people just like to throw their potatoes straight onto a baking sheet, but I like this method. Parchment paper, then foil. So I just decided to wrap and put to cook 2 more. They're just great to have cooked. Definitely eat these with lunch or breakfast this week.
So I placed my sweet potatoes into a preheated oven of about 200 degrees Celsius. I left mine in for around an hour. So for chimichurri, you really want to get the parsley as finely chopped as possible. So just carry on chopping that parsley down until you can't chop it anymore.
So we're also going to chop chili up as well. I'm not sure how spicy this chili is.
So finally chop up your chili, grab a mixing bowl, placing in that finely chopped parsley and chili, swirl over some olive oil, place in some red wine vinegar, some minced garlic, some oregano, some salt, and some ground pepper, and just mix everything well. The longer you leave it to sit, the tastier it will be. So once those sweet potatoes are cooked, it would have sat for a little while, it will be perfect. Sometimes with steak, it will just be a salt and pepper thing. Today I just fancied adding on top a few other extras. So I placed on top, obviously, salt, pepper, some garlic powder. I also placed on top this jerk rub that I had, and I heated my pan, just waiting for it to heat because we want a hot pan when we are cooking steak. Had these tomatoes in the fridge, so just decided to thinly slice them, and I gave them some salt. I removed my sweet potatoes from the oven, and I put this steak to cook. So I did a little bit of olive oil and some butter so the butter wouldn't burn. Placed my steak in. You know, steak's something that's so personal to everyone. Everyone likes their steak cooked differently. So I let my steak rest for about 5 minutes. I couldn't wait any longer. I just needed to eat.
Let's see these sweet potatoes. So it's almost like the parchment paper steams them. I don't know, they just get so soft when you cook them in the parchment paper. That tastes good.
So serving that dinner up, I placed a little bit of butter into that purple sweet potato.
Steak, chimichurri, rocket, and that rocket's really spicy as well, which I love, and these gorgeous tomatoes. I'm so tired and I'm hungry. I just want to eat this. Definitely not the prettiest plate of food, but my goodness, this tastes amazing. Steak on point for me. Purple sweet potato never fails, and that little salad with the chimichurri on top. This is perfect. I'm gonna go sit down. I've been staring at a laptop all afternoon, so my brain is frazzled. I'm gonna take some deep breaths, go eat my food. Yeah, I'll see you at tomorrow's dinner. Don't know what I'm gonna be cooking. For tonight, I want to cook up a relatively simple meal, something that I can throw into one pan. So I'm gonna cook up social media's favorite. I'm gonna do marry me butter beans. What is this whole marry me chicken, marry me chickpeas? But anyways, it actually lives up to the hype, I think, in my opinion. I've done it with chickpeas before and it is delicious. So yeah, today I'm gonna be using butter beans. The only chopping in this recipe, not the only, chopping is chopping. But yeah, we're gonna chop up some shallots, and I've also got some garlic, and we're gonna chop up the sun-dried tomatoes also. Just get a few of these.
So roughly chop up your sun-dried tomatoes. If you happen to have some fresh tomatoes on hand also, you could definitely add those as an addition. I didn't have any, but it's just an option if you want to do that.
The butter's just gone in. I'm also gonna add just a little touch of the sun-dried tomato oil. I would prefer if it was olive oil. It's not olive oil, but it will still work, it's still good.
So I placed in roughly like a tablespoon of the sun-dried tomato oil, followed on by my minced garlic and chopped shallots.
I can already smell the flavors from the oil, so yeah, definitely if you're using sun-dried tomatoes in oil, add a little tablespoon or so of that in.
So go ahead and place in those sun-dried tomatoes. If you are using some fresh tomatoes as well, you could add those in at this point. I placed in some oregano, some paprika. You could use smoked paprika. I just preferred regular paprika for this. And I placed in some chili flakes. Just mix everything well on a medium heat.
I'm gonna go really easy with the salt in this dish because the sun-dried tomatoes have a lot of salt, and also the butter beans that I'm gonna use, they're also salted really well, so I don't wanna overdo it. I'd rather add less salt, and then if it needs extra, I can adjust that. But once you over salt something, it's a bit of a nightmare. So I'm gonna be using my favorite of butter beans, which I feel like I share in every single video, but they are just incredible. These beans are not opening. No. Oh my God, got it.
So rinse and wash your butter beans, place them into the pan along with your broth of choice, whether that's vegetable broth or chicken broth like me. So you want to let these beans cook down for at least 10 minutes. Just let them soak up all the flavors from the broth. After around 10 minutes or so, you can place in some baby spinach, just covering the pan and letting it wilt. The next step is the most exciting part for me. We're going to swirl in that cream, chop up some fresh basil, and we are going to go crazy with that Parmesan. If you want to go crazy with that Parmesan, add as much or as little as you want. You can give it a taste. If it needs more, add more in. So you can go ahead and serve up your Marry Me butter beans. So I served mine with some pan-cooked cod and placed over some fresh parsley, swirled over a little bit of good quality olive oil, and just dived in.
You know it's good when I'm smiling, like full face smiling. This is amazing. We've made it to Friday, and truth be told, I do not want to cook. That is the last thing I want to do on a Friday night. I would really love to order something in right now, but I'm going to stick to my word and I'm going to share 5 nourishing dinners, all home cooked this week, because I'm not in the mood at all. I'm going to do a minimal cooking. I don't even know if you could call this cooking. I'm going to whiz up some hummus using those purple sweet potatoes, the extra ones that I cooked up. I don't think I've got much regular tahini, but I'm going to make it work as I always do. It will be good. I know it will. My cooked purple sweet potatoes, which is still wrapped in that parchment paper and that foil. I don't have any measurements for this, by the way. I'm just freestyling. I'm gonna start with 1 sweet potato, and then if I need to add more, I'll unwrap the second one. I'm gonna use my high-speed blender rather than my food processor, which would make it a little bit more textured. I want it to be as smooth as can be.
So into my high-speed blender, I placed in that purple sweet potato. I opened up my jar of chickpeas, just giving them a wash and rinse, and placed those in. I threw in the tiny bit of tahini that I had, followed on by some garlic, some cumin powder, which I was quite generous with, good swirl of extra virgin olive oil, some lemon juice, some salt, and a little bit of cold water, just so everything was smooth and blended well. So I gave it a taste and I adjusted the seasoning, so it did need a little bit more lemon, so I added in some more lemon, and for me, this consistency was perfect. Look at this gorgeous, gorgeous color. So I put my eggs to boil, cooking them for about 6 minutes and 45 seconds. These are just medium-sized eggs, but for me, I do love a jammy yolk. I followed on by chopping up my salad ingredients. So that included slicing up some cucumber, chopping up some cherry tomato, finally slicing some red onions, throwing that all into a bowl along with some Kalamata olives, some sumac, some extra virgin olive oil, lemon juice, salt, and some pepper. So serving this up, I just put a generous amount of that purple sweet potato hummus, which was so incredible. I actually had some leftover cooked quinoa, so I added some of that to the plate, along with that Greek style salad, and I topped it with some feta, that jammy egg, colourful and vibrant, a perfect I don't want to cook type of meal, which was very necessary for this evening. My final nourishing meal of the week. I made it, didn't think I was going to. Definitely looks like a brunch plate, but I'm good eating brunch for dinner. That feeling when you really wanted to order something in, but you find the willpower to cook and you cook it and you're like, thank God I didn't order that in. This is really good. That's the feeling I'm feeling right now. I would love to hear what you think of this week of nourishing dinners. Let me know in the comments. Drop me a comment if you have anything to ask me. I will see you all in my next video very, very soon.